Hey, this is Dr. George Moricz for part 2 of how to naturally recharge your brain and body in literally seconds. That's right, this is part 2. Today, you're going to discover the actual energy systems that were naturally working in your brain and body when you were youthful. That's right, imagine you're 20 years of age. It doesn't matter if you sleep right, eat right, you wake up the next day, you are a sexual dynamo. And why is that? And why am I even going into this? Because for someone to re-engineer you to youth, this is youth engineering. This is not just mechanical work where we're trying to stick something in your body. We're trying to push some of these bioidentical hormones, which drives me crazy. All they're trying to do is push it into your body. Push it through your digestive system, topically in your skin. Try to claim that if they could just reproduce what it was. Well, it's all Mickey Mouse, because once you realize that everything you had in youth, all those youthful chemicals, they were all vibrational. Just like you hear my voice, just like you hear the sound of a television, just like you see light. Those are photons. This is all energy and wavelength. Right now, when you look at an object that appears to be solid, it's actually in motion. This comes from Einstein. This comes from all the work that was done by Tesla. We have currents, we have electromagnetic fields, but the bottom line that I want you to think about is things are not as they appear. Just because something is identified in your body and a pharmaceutical company synthesizes it, what they're doing is they're trying to force your body, force your enzymes, force your detoxification systems, force them into your system, hoping to override what you are already doing inadequately. See, there's so many steps, and that's why people are not adequately re-engineered back to youth. They cannot feel and perform like they did years ago because we don't even know where we're going. In order to succeed in life, you have to know where you land. If you have a helicopter and you go up in the air, if you don't know where you're going, you're going to crash. But more importantly, why this is really a roadmap blueprint is because we know what systems kept you healthy and youthful. So, provided in the photo that I've shown you, what are the energy systems for naturally recharging your brain and body? Well, let's start with some basic things. The mitochondria. Think of this as sort of your power systems. In your car, you have a battery charging system with alternator and starter. Well, think of the mitochondria as the energy systems. And we could argue about how many you have in the brain versus the body, but the point is, over time, they get destroyed. They're not as efficient. So they've got to make energy. So for that, we've got to tackle that system. We've got to create waveforms for that. The other system that we need to talk about is metabolic. If you can dissociate the amount of calories that you store in your body versus release of heat through energy, what you're doing is you're describing metabolism. But if you store more than you burn, then you have an imbalance. So you've got to address the youthful chemicals in your metabolic system, which I will do in a minute. What are the restorative things? Well, you have something deep in the brain called the pineal gland, the third eye. This is a rarely talked about neurohormonal organ that sets your circadian rhythms. So what happens between that and the pituitary, the hypothalamus, the thyroid, and the thymus gland, your immune gland, is that the pineal gland is really the thing that controls all of it. So if you disrupt it, not only do you get bad sleep, you throw your body into high blood sugars in the afternoon, a pre-diabetic condition, you increase your chance of cancers, you debilitate your immune system. See, it goes on and on and on. So you've got to create a system for that. Detoxification, which starts with your natural thyroid hormones. Thyroid is your circulator hormone. It takes all your other hormones, even if they're deficient or insufficient, and they help circulate them. So if you can't get someone's blood flow going, you can't get their brain working, they get depressed, they get sluggish, their bad cholesterols go high, things get clogged up in their systems, everything from the liver down to the colon doesn't work correctly. So you have to create a detoxification energy system. And last but not least is the sexual hormones and chemicals. We think of sexuality as man or female, and we start thinking, oh, well, they have this set of hormones which creates their sexual characteristics. That is true. But then there's also the effect on the brain. To have women be happy, optimistic, they have to have the right blend of female sex hormones. For men to be confident and decisive, they need to have their set as well. But also with sexuality is its effects on the body composition. Okay, so along with some of the restorative chemicals that we couldn't talk about in the time we have, like growth hormone, insulin growth factor, the sexual hormones determine how much muscle you have, how thermogenic you have. Male hormone actually binds to a receptor in fat, beta adrenergic, so you burn fat. So you've got to tackle the sexuality part of it as well. So what we've already just talked about is the mitochondrial, we talked about the metabolic, the restorative, detoxification, and sexual. The ones that I will not go in today have a little more to do with the immune system. There are other systems that we will cover separately. But when you have these systems naturally recharged in your brain and body, you have nailed the essence of what youth is. And once again, I am not cramming a hormone, peptide, chemical, something that doesn't look like what your body needs. What we're doing through a spray technology is introducing the activating frequencies, the very frequencies that are already present in a young person. As you chronologically age 10, 20, 30, 40 years out from 20, what happens is you're no longer in sync. You no longer have these frequencies. In the field of bioelectricity, you can measure the body's electromagnetic potential. You can measure the potential drop, the voltage, just like in a battery. They can even do nano testing of cells, intracellular evaluation. See, we know that the body is a charged vehicle, okay? Just think about it. Just like your phone needs to be charged, your electric car needs to be charged, where your body works the same way. So by introducing the frequencies, which is what your body did well years ago, you are able to get the effect that you want. You bypass everything I said about trying to cram things that don't belong in your body. And even worse are synthetic medicines. Synthetic medicines never belonged in your body when you have youth. You are not chronologically aging and therefore become deficient in synthetic medicines. The big bottle to little bottle syndrome, as I call it, when you go to CVS, Walgreens, or your favorite big pharma pharmacy outlet, they are trying to cram things in your system that never belong there. If you understand the underlying deficiency that you missed in youth, most medical problems are not medical problems at all. So in order to naturally recharge your brain and body and do it literally with activating frequencies, do it the way this system, which you will be privy to very shortly, this is our first public announcement of it, then you can get those wavelengths back. Next time I'll discuss how using a 6-pack, basically a 6-bottle system with charged frequencies, you could get the benefits of being young again. This is Dr. George Moricz. Thank you.